They have survived all 4 of their turnovers, and Adrian Walker's second touchdown run of the year has him up 27-17. Again, the problem keeping the ball on the tee down there, as Tracy Caldwell optimistically standing at his own 1-yard line.
But you know what the Texas coaches are saying? Don't forget that game when Arkansas scored 24 points right in a row in the fourth quarter. Try and pull that game out. I believe that was against Tech, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were down 49-20, and the Tech never had the ball in that 24-point run.
You better believe they're all saying that on the sideline. Don't forget that. Can't stop playing now.
Another one way out of here. A familiar spot for Quinn Grovey in trying to bring the Hogs back from behind. But another point that should be made, none of these Arkansas players know what it's like to come into this stadium and lose. They won here 2 years ago and 2 years before that. And that broke a drought going back to the mid-60s. Our Schick storyline today, the key is line 1, right up there. They have not capitalized on any of the turnovers.
They got 2 fumbles. They gave it right back. Boy, those were killers.
Hogs split the tight end wide left, Lindy Lindsey. Grovey looking the other way, and it was intended for Russell, with Stanley Richard coming from safety with perfect timing to get Russell's way. Russell, whose only catch today, went for 78 yards when Barry and Kapnis got tangled up in the cover.
Well, we're going to see Grovey air it out a little bit more. He's only thrown 6. He's only completed 6 of 10, but he's got 168 yards on those 6 completions. So I would look for him to air it out.
Option left. Dickerson hit by Jones and ahead to the 24. Another third and relatively long for Arkansas.
Well, don't think that Texas doesn't just love that play. They've played it well all day long. They said, hey, you can run that flip all you want. We'll give you 3 or 4 yards.
Boy, you see the fruits of the day's labor for Brian Jones. The blood sprinkled along his thigh pad. All of the day's work. Third down. Hogs need 7. Here goes Grovey. And he has the Arkansas first down, out of bounds at the 31. Key block by Tracy Caldwell to give Grovey some room over on that side.
Just when you think you have him, he steps aside and picks up that first down marker. Heads up play by Grovey as he was going out of bounds that time. He saw the marker that lays right underneath the chains, and he just stepped upfield, got enough, got out of bounds, and avoided contact.
At Memorial Stadium in Austin, 72,000 plus. Dave Barnett, Dave Rowe with 13:05 remaining in a 27-17 game. Grovey play action, wants Russell, airs it out, and he did not quite bring it in the face of double coverage, and he is slow getting up. Gunn and Barry down there, and Mike Barry trying to fire him up here in Austin.
Well, the ball didn't fool the defenders. They played it all the way. Watch the reaction. There's Barry in the picture. Now watch the safety come over. He's going to get in the action too. He's really what breaks this up, because look how high he goes for the ball. He has it right there. Again, just rips it out. Well, that takes courage to go in there. That little fella, 6 foot, 185. He's got some great courage to go across that middle and know you're going to take a hit.
Great shot of how it was not pass interference. Down goes Grovey back at the 22. James Patton, Shane Dronette with the sack for Texas. But Patton reminds a lot of folks of Steve McMichael. Is there a higher compliment in this stadium?
No, there certainly is not. That's the first sack they've gotten today, and Patton's very deserving. We talked about him earlier being in the weight room and seeing those lifting records. He had about all of them. And there have been some absolutely stellar defensive and offensive linemen to come through, and he's one of the strongest to ever come through this program.
Now Another key you're seeing right there. 1 for 9 on third downs. Roby to the side over Russell. There was some contact there. Hogs look for a flag. It won't come on an uncatchable pass. And another hand for the Texas defense. Into the wind. Glenn Ray Hines as you see Grady Canvas back at the 37-yard line.
Looks like they're coming.
Well, this is easily his best into the wind all day, and it's fair caught. It looked like, but Canvas reversing field to the 45, and finally out right at midfield.
Oh boy, they want a flag on that sideline. I think that may be rightfully so. I didn't see whether the flag went down or not, Dave, but boy, he looked like he got hit late out of bounds.
It also looked like he signaled fair catch.
It did.
34 yards on the kick, 8 yards on the return.
Well, let's watch his hand. You never see his hand come up. There's no signal. It just kind of meandered underneath it, just kind of wandered there. But let's watch the contact out of bounds right here. Once he gets to that white, he's safe.
Yep, that's a late hit. Kurt Botkin is the man flagged. And the mark-off will put the Horns on the Arkansas 35-yard line when we return to Austin.
Of course, Hadnot and the great Oklahoma offense that they had. Gosh knows. Samuel said, don't forget me.
Draw play to Hadnot, and he slips some tackles down to the 12. Very tough freshman to bring down. Richard David in the secondary, making the tackle on the man from Kirbyville, Butch Hadnot. Boy, but the play before, you really underscored it. Chris Samuels may be the Texas player of the day. He's carried 7 times for 83 yards. He's caught 4 passes for 45 yards. Hadnot, the lone setback with Samuels slot right. Johnny Walker back in. Top of your screen. As the pitch goes to Hadnot. Spots an opening. Still going. First and goal, Texas.
Well, Dave, we said one of the keys was senior leadership, and I'm not so sure that senior Chris Samuels isn't giving us good leadership and showing young guys like Butch Hadnot how to play. But watch the effort of Hadnot. He just refuses to go down. Big lineman out there in front blocking. Chad McMillan out there just blowing him off the line. They are coming off the football.
Broke a tackle by Owen Kelly. That was the key. First and goal at the 4. Hadnot still the lone setback. And one more time. Look at him weave. Touchdown. Called an embarrassment of riches. That's what we've seen in the Texas offensive backfield today. Boy. Michael Pollock to the extra point.
I want to tell you, he may be a freshman. Hadnot may be a freshman, but that is a senior cut if you'll ever see one. Gets bottled in the middle. Watch this. Can't make it there. All of a sudden decides outside. Now right here, it's stopped outside, and he just puts his shoulder down, and he carries at least 5 yards into the end zone.
Carries about 200 pounds worth of Richard David, number 18. Here's another deal.
Watch this right here. Stopped right there. Now watch this. Outside? No. Cut back inside. David hits him right on the 5-yard line, and he just barrels in the end zone.
Well, we saw him pop an iron yesterday, and you just saw why. 34-17. 34-17 after the first collegiate touchdown for Butch Hadnot, the freshman from Kirbyville. 4-play drive, 50 yards. Hadnot Writing all the way in from 4 yards out, and Michael Pollock again riding that southerly breeze.
Well, let me ask you a question. You've watched Texas football all your life, and you know the benchmark here in Texas for a running back is Earl Campbell. Don't you think he looks a little bit like Earl Campbell, or,
well, I tell you,
or
you're
somewhat
really,
like Rosie Leaks?
You're on shaky ground trying to compare anybody.
Well, I realize that, but
I tell you, though, the comparison that you can make, our halftime guest, Darrell Royal, used to have waves of running backs, and especially in the wishbone, where you had people like Worcester and Foy and Bertelsen and almost as good backups. And I think that's the last time you could say Texas had this type of depth at the running back position. You're looking at 20 years or so.
Well, you know, offensive coordinator Lynn Amity has got to love that big bruising back that can get you 3 or 4 yards just in there churning.
Well, Arkansas has used its next to last timeout. Now, this is a couple of times after a change of possession day we've seen them use timeouts.
That is really uncharacteristic of Arkansas to waste timeouts.
They still have time to come back, but they're down to 1 timeout remaining. Stadium in Lubbock at noon next Saturday. Number 2 Miami will battle against Notre Dame today against Texas Tech, and you're looking at one of the best passing offenses in the country in Spike Dykes and the Red Raiders. And of course, much the same for Dennis Erickson in Miami. That should be a shootout.
Well, that'll be a game that'll take about 4 hours to play.
Arkansas not that long ago within 3. Now they trail by 17. And Grovey showing that escapability. And all the way up the sideline. They will mark him out at the 21. So a lot of yardage consumed for a pickup of 1.
I bet this play takes 10 seconds. Watch this. Back. And they got great containment on him, but he still eludes him. Watch right here. His little fake holds him right there. Gets back up the sideline. Picks up only 1 yard, but the play took 10 to 15 seconds to run.
Mark Steed coming back off rather long injury rehab. You saw him make the tackle on Quinn Grovey. 3 wide outs right, Russell left. And incomplete for Dickerson. Third down and 9 for Grovey.
You see when a quarterback puts his hands on his hips like that, Grovey's tired from that last run. He's had a lot of action. You can just see him. That's almost the way you relax as a football player. And he's taking some pretty deep breaths.
We asked David McWilliams yesterday, do you compare him to some of the great OU quarterbacks in late 60s and early 70s in terms of pure running ability? He said he's better because he can throw on the run. A double threat and a quarterback draw. He needs the 30, and he's got it, and he's out of bounds. First down, Arkansas. So I think in terms of total package, running ability, eyes in the back of his helmet, and obviously as the second-rated passer in the nation, the ability to throw the ball, this might be as good as you got in college football today.
Well, did you see what Spike Dykes said about him? The best pure football player in the nation. Matt Wingo said they ought to give him the Heisman Trophy. Those are pretty high compliments. There's the scoring by quarters.
Here's the hole he's going to crawl out of. No pass rush. Will be firing for Dickerson. Belted by Lance Gunn. Big 214-pound strong safety outweighs his own linebacker, Anthony Curl, by about 12 pounds.
I guess you could say he gunned him down. We're trying to find. Boy, he did gun him down. Once he caught that ball, he closed in a hurry and just knocked him down.
Grovey again tucks and runs, but he might lose one here. The 42, Lance Wilson, injury-plagued junior from Pflugerville, has come off a broken leg and a shoulder separation in his years at Texas.
And they're trying to hurry. No huddle. Trying to keep those linebackers out there so the Texas can't go to their nickel.
Also because Arkansas has only 1 timeout left. Grovey almost picked off by Gunn. Intended for Lindy Lindsey. Pressure came from Todd Hunt, who was all over Grovey.
Grovey got that pass off. He almost sidearmed. Reminded me of Bernie Kosar trying to throw that ball out there.
Well, I guess it's like Mike Tyson must have felt at the end of the fight against Mr. Douglas.
You know, Grovey's had a phenomenal record at Arkansas. He's 24-6, 80% of the victories. Every time he lines up as a starter, he's won 80% of the games he's ever started.
3rd and 10. Swings it out for Jackson. And with the cutback, he's got the first down. Lance Wilson on the tackle. Arkansas now 3 for 12 converting 3rd downs. And Grovey could use about 6 or 7 timeouts for a good long breather.
You see him squatting down there. He's just trying to get his breath, trying to get his composure. But I'll tell you one thing, in that young man, there's no quit. He's been in this situation before. He's driven them the length of the field. He scored points when everybody had just written him off. And there's no quit in that young man.
Well, the thing is, he's got nearly 9 minutes to go. How much gas remains in that tank? Floats it out for Russell. Broken up by Berry.
Well, the Arkansas coaches are screaming. They wanted pass interference. They felt that Berry went over top of his back to break that pass up. Perhaps we can see it on the left side of your screen here. There's the pass. Let's watch Berry go up and knock it down.
Nope, great play.
No, I think it's just absolutely a great play. And Grovey got another hit. As soon as he let go of it, he's down on the ground again.
2nd and 10. Aaron Jackson for about 3. Curl on the tackle. The 3rd straight, 3rd and long. Now, Grovey has been able to convert on the first 2 on this drive. On a keeper and on a pass over the middle to E.D. Jackson. Again without a huddle. Dronette all over Grovey. Well, you're looking at the picture of exhaustion.
Sheer exhaustion. He's just so tired. He's tried to hurry. He's tried to motivate his team. He's tried to run it. He's just tried to be Mr. Everything.
Well, an official's timeout. Had a hog shaken up on the last play, and now they are signaling Arkansas charged with their final timeout of the day.
And look at Grovey across the way. He's kneeling down as they talk to him. He can't even stand up and talk to him. He is just one tired football player. He's given everything.
They have that scene at the 44. It'll be 4th and 15 when we come back after these messages from Southwest Airlines.
It looked like another boring month. He was going to rearrange his sock drawer. She thought they'd fix the cap. Then they discovered Southwest.
And that much time remaining and no more timeouts. If you're Arkansas, there's not much question. You go for it. This is their longest sustained drive of the day so far. 10 plays, 35 yards in 2 minutes and 16 seconds. But it is 4th down and 15. And incomplete for Botkin, the tight end. It's not over yet. There's 8 minutes to play. But you can see Jack Crow's shoulders visibly sagging. On a ball that hit Botkin in the hands as he stretched out. New Texas quarterback, redshirt freshman from Austin Westlake, Jimmy Saxton is in the game. 6'3", 189, sprinter's speed. Rushed for more than 1,000 yards as a senior. And immediately the quarterback draw and about 7 or 8 for Saxton. His dad, of course, in the Longhorn Hall of Honor, All-American in the early 60s. Rice early 7-0 over Tech, scoreless at College Station.
That is one tired quarterback right there.
I don't know what else you can ask one man to do. Adrian Walker spinning into a couple of hogs, Thomas and Rowland. And not a loss, 1 or 2. It'll be third down at about 4. A big score on our Dr. Pepper scoreboard. Iowa with a last second come from behind win at Michigan. A week ago today, Michigan's #1. Now they may be out of the top 25. That's their third narrow loss, including Notre Dame.
Well, that one to Notre Dame. Oh, boy.
Saxton with the roll. Keeper, first down. 36-yard line. Well, he plays quarterback. His dad was a running back. But tell me if you don't see a resemblance.
I'll tell you right now, I talked to Bill Little, and he said one day in practice, he said, I watched him run, and all of a sudden he had that little search move, and I thought, good night, he runs just like his dad. And he's showing, tell you one thing, that's a nice run.
Well, he has moved past Mark Murdoch as the backup to Gardere. As just a redshirt freshman. Patrick Wilson broke a shoulder tackle and leans forward into the hit by Floor and Thomas. First time we've seen Wilson today, junior from Odessa Permian. And his 8th carry of the year. Another big bruiser. Good look from the end zone at Memorial Stadium in Austin. Dave Barnett and Dave Rowe. 6 minutes and now under in the 4th quarter, in Texas with easily their most comfortable lead of the day. 6-point game at the half. Saxton to Mike Davis, sophomore from Copperas Cove, with the catch along the side. And this is a luxury that McWilliams and Glenn Abbott have not had very often the last couple of years, the ability to get in some of their future hopes.
Sure, when you've got a 17-point lead, you're down under 6 minutes, you've got a chance to run a lot of those linemen that just need that little bit of maturing, a quarterback that needs that little bit of game speed action, a couple wideouts that can just, again, get that game speed action, because the game is much different played on the football field in a game than it is during a practice session.
Adrian Walker, first down. Out of bounds at the 23. Ben Floor with the tackle. And on that Texas bench are all the starters offensively. This is basically the entire second unit out there. But they have gouged it out. Nice ball control drive. 5 minutes and 40 seconds. 1st and 10. That's Patrick Wilson out to the inside receiving slot. The lone setback, Walker with the give. And he is pushed down by Darwin Ireland for a gain of maybe 1.
A lot of candidates for player of the game, Dave. I think right away, of course, of Walker with those 3 catches that he had. I think of Gardere, who settled down. You talked about Chris Samuels and his play. Hadnot in his play.
Walker 5 catches for 104 yards, but I think in terms of doing it both ways, on the ground and through the air, Chris Samuels.
Well, how about that big defensive line? He turned the ball over 4 times and turned it right back to their offense.
Saxton on play action. Nice touch and an even better grab by Kerry Cash at the 10. Are they going to miss the catches next year?
Oh, boy, are they going to miss them? When you have a target that starts off at 6'4", but then can go up for the football and just holds on.
Perry this year adding about 15-20 pounds of muscle, so you can finally tell him apart from Keith, who's still at about 215 pounds. Patrick Wilson to the 7. And it'll be 2nd down and goal. Ty Mason with the tackle. Clock rolls, 4.5 minutes.
Well, if you're David McWilliams on the sideline, you're just saying, my goodness gracious, we're just eating that clock up. If you're on the other sideline and you're Jack Crow, you're saying, boy, that clock is ticking fast.
Lamell Foreman in. Takes the give. Cut back and maybe one. Just inside the 6. It'll be 3rd and goal. And we are inside of 4 minutes remaining. It would appear that we're finally going to see a streak broken, and that is 6 straight Arkansas-Texas games decided by a touchdown or less, an average margin of 4 points. Very rare what you're seeing here. One team dominating the other, at least dating back to the early 80s. It's been a rarity. Saxton on 3rd and goal for Duke in the corner. He got it. Touchdown. They caught just about everybody in the stadium by surprise with the decision to go for 2. And Terry Cash milking this crowd for all they're worth after the first career touchdown for Derek Duke.
Who would ever have expected a score like this? We've seen all the margin of victory. Watch this. Just right in the corner of the end zone. Great concentration. Comes down. His feet right on the back line. His feet were so close to that back line. It's amazing he was able to get his feet in. Here's the 2-point quick snap, and he just plows into the end zone. 42-17. And at one time, I believe Arkansas was only down by 3 points.
Delirium in Austin. Pass into the corner of the end zone to Derek Duke. 42-17 Texas. 15th in one poll, 19th in the other. They're about to send the Hogs to 2-4, their worst start since 1967. And finally a return. Caldwell. Bad decision. Bubba Jacks made the stop, maybe born out of some desperation by Caldwell, just trying to make something happen.
You know, when we look at this Texas team, think back to that Penn State game, what a pivotal game that was. If they had lost that game, they go into Colorado. They had 2 weeks off. Everybody was saying they were going to be clawing at David McWilliams' neck. Now everybody's saying, what a great job. He just said, give me some time. They'll develop. I've got great coaching staff. I've just got great players. I just need some time. And boy, they are developing into a football powerhouse.
And Quinn Grovey finally has time to rest. His day is done. New quarterback is Gary Adams with some moves. Todd Hunt riding him down to the 19. Adams is 6'2". He's 4 inches taller than Grovey, 5 pounds lighter at 184. He's a sophomore from Springfield, Missouri. And very talented, strong arm, recruited as an option quarterback. So it's been, as you see, Grovey done for the day. It's been a bit of a project for the Arkansas coaches to get Adams indoctrinated as the backup to Quinn Grovey. And through the air and through the hands of Aaron Jackson, almost picked off. And it will be 3rd down and still 1 for the Hogs.
You know, I want to bring another thing up about Jack Crow on the other sideline. He's in a lot of the same similarities as David McWilliams. He's got a lot of young players. He's got a lot of things going for him. Even though he's taken over and he was the offensive coordinator, you still have to indoctrinate your system. And that takes time, and it's going to take time for this Arkansas team. Their fans just need to be patient because they are a good football team with a lot of promise.
Most of those system differences on defense, and down goes Adams. Mark Steed with the sack back at the 10. Long way back for that young man. Arkansas will have to kick.
And don't you know Texas is going to get great field position again.
Oklahoma with their hands full with Iowa State.
Oh boy, look at that one. 13-13.
Tying North Carolina. Hines. Havness from the 39. "29-yard kick, 12 on the return."
Well, Dave, let me pose a question. How far can Texas go in this Southwest Conference? We've talked about they've got some big ones coming up. This will most definitely put Arkansas out of the race for the Cotton Bowl.
One thing for certain is Martin Murdoch now will get a stint at quarterback. They are obviously better than last year, but we'll really find out how much better from here on in. Lamell Foreman knifing down to the 25-yard line. 1:51 to go. Because remember, they were on top of the world after this game last year. They lost 4 of their last 5. As we said at the top, they think their seniors won't allow that to happen this year.
Well, I think you saw evidence of that by 2 players especially. I think of Samuels and his leadership on offense, and I think of Richard on defense. Boy, I mean both of those players, they led their respective offense and defensive teams today.
Inside the 20 is Patrick Wilson, and a flag on a late hit by Richard David. More flags.
A lot of frustration out here. Just a lot of frustration. Arkansas is a very prideful team, and they're having their pride bruised hard today.
Any consolation as you look at the defensive problems, if it's any consolation to Jack Crow, Frank Broyles' first year, he lost his first 6 games.
Well, it's a position that Jack Crow has not been in. He is just not. He is a winner from the word go, and he has not been in this position of losing football games and losing by the margin that you just saw on that graphic.
It's a defense unlike any within decades at Arkansas.
Well, one of the things that happened this week, a lot of people didn't know what was going on because he went to closed practices, and everybody said, well, what's going on? But what he wanted to do is he wanted to take the pressure off his players.
Well, you see the mark-offs all the way down to the 5-yard line. A Texas team that had lost 7 of their last 9 at Memorial Stadium, busting out big today. And Ty Mason, involved in that altercation, has been ejected for Arkansas. 42-17. The Horns will go to 4-1. But they can't enjoy it very long. I mean, that's where we will really find out how good they are.
Yes, you got to forget them so quickly. You want to relish in the victory and have that feeling all week long, but quickly it brings you down to reality, and that's a coach's job.
Something else that may be at work here. Texas is not sure how many more cracks they're going to get at Arkansas. And from word one this season, everybody said Arkansas's decision to go to the SEC may haunt them this year and next because people look at them as having a target on their back. People are beating them with relish. We saw 2 weeks ago TCU, 54 points. Texas Tech with 49, and now Texas with 49 after Patrick Wilson powers it in.
And just burst up the middle, just strength, just blowing them off the line. And probably the most frustrating day in Arkansas's history.
There's something new.
1:04 remaining. This is the most points Texas has scored in this series with Arkansas since 1916. When they hit him for 52. It's the most points Texas has scored against anyone as Michael Pollock kicks off. And it will sail over Caldwell's head. It's the most Texas has scored against anyone since the third game of 1987 when they beat Oregon State 61-16. Our Southwest Airlines player of the game today is the senior from San Antonio, Chris Samuels. 83 yards on 7 carries and back on 45 receiving yards on 4 catches. And Samuels with most of those contributions when this game was still in doubt.
Oh, absolutely. Talk about senior leadership. No. You got it right with that young man.
Chris Samuels, our Southwest Airlines player of the game. 1:04 remaining. Keeping it on the ground. Kirby on the carry. Down to 43 seconds. Well, it's not going to get any easier for Arkansas. They go to Houston next week. They'll go with an 0-3 record in the conference. As Aaron Jackson is brought down with 25 seconds remaining. And in all likelihood, we've seen the final play of the day. There's no question, if Texas is able to live up to their potential, which we have seen come to the fore today, they'll be as good as anybody in the Southwest Conference. The question is, will they do it? Because in some years past, they haven't.
Well, they had that total collapse last year, but I don't look for them to collapse this year. We talked about the senior leadership. They've got it. They've got momentum. They've got everything rolling in their favor. And it's up to those coaches to keep it all going as it's going.
It's all over. And the party is underway in Austin, Texas. Today's game has been brought to you by Southwest Airlines, offering everyday low fares and convenient flights to many exciting destinations. Also brought to you in part by Dr. Pepper. By the Jefferson Pilot Life Insurance Company. By Buick. By Citgo Petroleum. And by Bud Dry. For Dave Rowe, this is Dave Barnett. Be with us next Saturday at noon as the second-ranked Miami Hurricanes take on Texas Tech. This has been a copyrighted presentation of Raycom Sports and Entertainment.